Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about updates surrounding Stellar's utility and DEX developments, and how Stellar is set to be used for cross-border payments. So in a recent article published by the Stellar team, Stellar went into detail surrounding how its use cases could be used for a number of initiatives, especially surrounding DEX developments. So the Stellar team is set to roll out SpeedX, which is a decentralized exchange which will be directly built on the Stellar network. So the SpeedX DEX will be attributed with a number of characteristics, which will make it a highly desirable platform for developers, namely DeFi developers. So the SpeedX DEX directly built on the Stellar network will come with a number of qualities which makes it highly attractive, especially for DeFi developers. Namely, the SpeedX DEX will be equipped with the ability to enable the validation of transactions more seamlessly and at low costs. Furthermore, the high degrees of scalability, cost effectiveness and high throughput associated with the Stellar network will enable cross-border payments through the direct use of SpeedX to be validated more seamlessly. This will mean that funds, be it through stablecoin or cryptocurrency, could be sent from one region of the world to another through the direct leveraging of the Stellar network. So the direct building and presence of SpeedX on the Stellar network will lead to invariable increases in the level of activity which will directly occur on the network, be it through developers actively taking advantage of the DEX offering or retailers trading tokens through the SpeedX platform. So the presence of the SpeedX DEX on Stellar may be the beginnings of more DeFi initiatives being set to transition to the Stellar network. This may arise namely due to the Stellar Development Foundation providing a $30 million grant, which will see the foundation providing monetary support for a number of entities which see Stellar as a viable candidate for a number of initiatives, namely DeFi. So the rolling out of DeFi and DEX developments on Stellar is compounded with the Stellar network being actively used for its main utility in cross-border payments. So a recent example of Stellar's utility in cross-border payments is the direct use and utility of the Stellar network in OKCoin's offerings, which is the first US exchange to integrate Stellar's USDC stablecoin into its offerings. So OKCoin will take advantage of the innate qualities and benefits attached to the Stellar network, namely Stellar's USDC stablecoin and the innate qualities attached to the Stellar blockchain, namely Stellar's high finality rates, cost effectiveness and high scalability. And this could be especially beneficial for the overarching Stellar network, as OKCoin provides services to over 190 countries worldwide. And as a result of this, a sizable number of individuals will actively use OKCoin's offerings. And due to this factor, a sizable number of individuals will actively utilize the Stellar network to enable the validation of transactions, namely for cross-border payments. This will ultimately lead to increases in the overall use case and utility of the overarching Stellar network, which in turn will lead to overall increases to the demand for XLM, which will act as a means of validating such actions and transactions. So increases in the demand for XLM in this sense should lead to overall increases to the price of XLM over the mid and long term. So as well as OKCoin's direct usage of the Stellar network, the Stellar network is set to be utilized in cross-border payments to the Philippines. So Stellar is working alongside a number of organizations within the Philippines, including Velo Labs and the Philippine Digital Asset Exchange. So this collaboration will involve improvements in the ability for remittances to pass from other regions of the world to the Philippines through the direct utility and leveraging of the Stellar network. So this factor could be beneficial for both the Stellar network as well as the Philippines economy. So sizable quantities of funds pass to the Philippines through remittances on an annual basis, and this in turn leads to remittances making up a large proportion of the Philippines' GDP and overall economy. However, despite large sums of remittances that pass into the nation on an annual basis, the sending of such remittances typically face excessive transaction fees, whereby in the case of Western Union and the use of the SWIFT system, remittances typically experience transaction fees which amount to 3 to 5% of the initial funds sent from payers to payees. And this factor means that there'll be sizable decreases in the amount of funds that move into the nation. However, through this new development, the Stellar network could be a means of overcoming the limitations associated with the current financial system, as the Stellar network will be able to induce the validation of transactions more seamlessly, and finality rates associated with transaction validation will be induced in seconds. So the cost effectiveness and the finality attached to the Stellar network will mean that funds can be passed from other regions to the world to the Philippines more seamlessly and cost effectively. And as a result, larger sums of remittances and funds will move into the nation, which in turn will lead to overall improvements in the GDP of the nation and the quality of life of payees as a whole. So with increases in the overall utility of the Stellar blockchain, especially surrounding cross-border payments, in the case of OKCoin and remittances that pass to the Philippines on an annual basis, will mean that transaction validation, namely through the utility of the XLM token, will be actualized more seamlessly and rapidly. Increases in the demand for XLM to actively verify transactions and actions to the Philippines will lead to inevitable increases to the price of XLM, especially over the midterm and long term. So overall increases in the active utility of the Stellar blockchain, be it through DeFi initiatives, namely DEX developments or cross-border payments. Stellar could become a key pillar within the financial system, be it CeFi or DeFi. What are your thoughts on Stellar? Is Stellar the future of finance? Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click on the notification bell. Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.